We're joined by Bloomberg's Equities reporter, Stephanie Hughes. So, Steph, we talked about Aritzia, too, and certainly the earnings that we did see yesterday, but enjoying the fruits of those earnings on the market today.
Yeah, that's right, Matt. Happy Friday, by the way. And it was a particularly happy Friday for Aritzia today. Those shares gained by over 10% at their highest point today, which was the biggest intraday boost since early April. And it made it the top TSX performer for the entire trading day today. As soon as the bell opened up, or as soon as the markets opened, it hit that top spot and held that position for the full day today. So, like you mentioned, it was another beat and raise quarter with the fiscal first quarter's adjusted earnings of 96 cents per share, coming ahead of what analysts were expecting by a pretty wide margin. And that and the Canadian retailer expects that its revenue can reach up to as much as nearly $4.8 billion for the fiscal year ahead. That's up from a previous top end of the range of nearly $4.6 billion. So this quarter got some glowing reviews from analysts, many of whom raised their price targets on the company following the results after the bell last night. And to pick out a few standout comments, I liked what Stifel analyst Martin Landry said. He said that he said it was difficult to pin down any single one factor leading to the success of this quarter. It was kind of a confluence of factors for Aritzia, including the summer and spring products really resonating with shoppers, having the right inventory at the right quantity, and the mobile app has been a success. It's really gaining traction, and just this pivot and raising its brand awareness overall. So that's a big bounce back from the doldrums of 2024 and 2025, a more difficult period where the Canadian segment wasn't doing as well, and it forced Aritzia to cut its guidance, and then some analysts cut their price targets. But looking at now, over the past year, the shares have more than doubled their gains in the one-year time span, and really just also reached an all-time high back in June. So Aritzia, over the past few quarters, has really been a comeback kid, Matt.
Yeah, my wife has been contributing to that. I can tell you that much too, and at least to some of those numbers so far. Now, what about Cineplex too, Steph? Also, again, posting some really good numbers and appear to have Woody, Buzz, and the Toy Story crew for that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Matt, if you were at the movie theaters last month, you weren't alone because Cineplex shares gained by 6% at their highest point. That's about its biggest intraday boost in roughly a month, just over a month. And it brought the share price back to where it was back in December. And that's, like you alluded to, that's thanks to some solid box office numbers last month, reporting nearly $56 million in revenue in its strongest June showing since 2019. That's before the pandemic shut down movie theaters and really accelerated this trend of watching new movie releases on streaming services instead of getting out of the house and going to see it in the movie theater. And a lot of that came from Toy Story 5, as parents brought their kids to the latest iteration of a film series that has been around since literally as long as I have been alive. The first one came out in 1995 as this early triumph of full-length computer-animated films, and it's still been going strong with its theater showings since then. Revenue was also helped by the continued success from movies like Obsession and Backrooms, as we're seeing these low-budget indie horror films really sweep up over the summer, which makes me happy. I like to see new ideas come to the forefront and get rewarded. And on top of that, the second quarter theater concession revenue hit a record. So it's not even just that Cineplex is getting some butts and seats here. People are actually going to the concession stands to get some drinks, popcorn, maybe chip in a little bit more for that luxury experience. So analysts see more of this momentum continuing to the back half of the year with releases like The Odyssey, Spider-Man Brand New Day, Moana, Dune Part 3. Of course, the analysts neglected to mention the movie that I'm most excited about, which is the Japanese Godzilla sequel coming out in November. It was a sequel to the 2023 film, but of course they're probably more focused, to be fair, on the next few weeks and months ahead. But yeah, it looks like a pretty strong film slate for what's already been a solid year, Matt.
Yeah, which is great news too. Look forward to Godzilla. I'll go see Godzilla. I'd be into that too, but you got to get layered butter on the popcorn. Clearly, that's all. That's the only requirement. So, yeah. Bloomberg, Steph Hughes. Steph, appreciate this. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.